Okay, so we're gonna do our first assembly drawing, and assembly drawing is simply a drawing that is made up of more than one component. So here I have the drawing. This is for a lid of a box. I got my dimensions here, and then this is gonna be the base of the box here with also the dimensions. And this is what it is going to look like here. And then if I highlight it, right click, I can animate the joint that we're gonna have. The box is just simply gonna come up and off that base of the box there. The lid is gonna come up and off the base in that motion there because it's got a lip on the lid. Okay, so let's start a new design. And we are gonna save it. Save it as box, assembly. And we're gonna go to start our new sketch. So we're gonna create it on the X and Y plane, and if I were looking at my dimensions, I would know that it's going to be 100 by 75. That's my sketch. I'm finished that. I'll go to extrude it up to 50. And then I'm gonna provide a fillet on it, on those four edges, four vertical edges as well, and that'll have a fillet of 5. Press OK for that. And now we want to separate this box into a lid and a base. So to do that, we're going to use something called split body here. So take the body and split it into 2 bodies. But I need to tell it where to split it. So for that, we're going to use a construction plane. And we're going to use the offset plane here. I'm going to reference the offset from the top and come down -15 and type in there. And you can see there we have our brand new construction plane. From there, I'm going to go to modify split body, and I'll choose the body I want to split, and then choose the reference, which is my construction plane. So that's my splitting tool. And press OK. And now I am left with 2 bodies here. All right. Now we want to turn both of those 2 bodies into components, 2 separate components. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to create components from bodies. And here now I have the top and the bottom. So the bit that is not blued out is the part that's going to be the part that it's identifying. So the top here is the lid, so I'm going to rename that, make it easier. And whoops. And this one will be the base, I'll call it. So those are my 2 components. And you can see I got an anchor here. I actually want to change that over to here. So I'm going to choose that one, ground to parent, and this one is going to be unground from parent. So I got an anchor there, which is mean this one, component 2, or let's rename it again, the base, is going to be anchored. It's not going to move, whereas the lid is going to be free to move. Alright, so the next part is we want to actually hollow these out. So I'm going to turn off the visibility of the lid. I'm going to go to my shell command, and I'm going to give this one a thickness of 3 millimeters. And oh, I got that mixed up. So this is actually rename. That's going to be my base, and this one is going to be my lid. And I want to ground to parent. This one I'm going to unground. Okay, so I turn that. Oh, rename. Okay. So that's my lid. That's my base. Alright, so now I want to shell out my lid. So I'm going to go to shell. And this time I'm going to leave a thickness of 6 millimeters. And what I want to do here, and I'm going to turn off my construction plane, is I'm going to leave a lip on that lid. So to do that, I'm going to go to sketch. I'm going to draw a sketch on the edge here. I'm going to go to modify my sketch command, and I'm going to offset the outside, bring it in negative 3.5 millimeters. Okay, and then I'm going to create a lift on the inside here. So I'm going to take that inside profile and extrude it out. And so I'm going to bring it down 2.5 mil. Alright, so that's going to leave me a lid that's going to sit nicely inside my base. Okay, now I got to define the relationship between the two bodies. So to do that, I'm going to use a function under assembly here called joint, and I can use J for short. And now I'm going to go and select a point on my base. So I'll choose that point there, as well as a point on my lid. Choose that point there. And now you can see that actually I got my axis mixed up, so I'm going to cancel that and try that again. So I'll go J for joint, and now I want to pick my base. Okay, so in this case my axis isn't, or that's where I want the joint to be, but I want it to flip over. And so now the top lid sits directly on the base. Okay, now the last step here is I want to change my motion. I don't want it to move side to side in the Z axis. I want to change it, I want it to move in, I believe, the Y. So it moves up and down. And I can change my range of motion. So I can have it rest at 0. So I'll turn that on. The minimum I want to be 0 as well. And the maximum I'll say 10 millimeters. And now I'll preview my limit here. And there you can see it gives you an animation or a preview of how that joint is actually going to work. Okay, and that is what I want you to do for this particular drawing. So it's going to be made up of two components. There's going to be a relationship between those two components, which you dictate by